Hi everyone, we're going to sketch a graph of this polynomial f of x. So first of all, let's look at our degree. If you look at these multiplicities here, since this f of x is not in standard form, we're just going to add these up. So you have 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So our degree is 3. Now, our end behavior has to do with the fact that this is odd number, and our lead coefficient is negative. We'll talk about end behavior in just a minute. I just want y'all to remember this part. And let's go on to our y-intercept. That's when x is 0. So you plug in 0 here. And that gives you 0. So my y-intercept is 0, 0. Now your zeros, or your x-intercept, is when y is 0. So let that be 0. So this piece can be 0. This would be negative 3 plus 3 is 0, and 3 plus 3 is 0. So your x-intercepts, or zeros, are 0, 0, negative 3, 0, and 3, 0. All multiplicity of 1. Maximum turning points is n minus 1. So you take your 3 minus 1 equals 2. And the last piece, we're going to determine where the intervals are, where f of x is negative and f of x is positive. We're going to do that when we graph. So we're going to go back to our end behavior, and let's look at that. We have odd and negative. So odd and negative is right here, this portion of the graph. In fact, our degree was 3. So it has a graph comparison of this y equals negative x cubed. So it's something like this. All right. Now, if you look at your end behaviors, we have a piece there, piece there. So that means when you graph from left to right, we're going to start in quadrant 2 and end in quadrant 4. And notice that in quadrant 2, x is negative, y is positive. In quadrant 4, x is positive, y is negative. And so the end behavior is telling you this. As x gets larger and larger from 0, my y portion is getting smaller. Similarly, as my x's values are getting smaller and smaller from 0, my y values are getting larger. So that gives you the quadrants that you're going to start in. Now, if you look at this, we have positive, negative. Well, positive and negative means quadrant 1. Negative, positive means quadrant 2. This should be quadrant 4, sorry. So positive and negative is quadrant 4. So you can kind of look at it that way. So nevertheless, we're going to start in this quadrant and end in quadrant 4 here. Now let's plot our zeros. We have 0, and then this one was negative 3, and this one was 3. All multiplicity of 1. So basically when you graph here, since all the multiplicities are 1, you can cross the x-axis. So you're going to cross here. We don't care about the min and max values on this video, so just estimate it. It doesn't really matter for this video. Then we can cross, come back up. You know your end behavior. We can cross again at 3, and there is your graph. I'll erase this part. All right, so let me label this. This is negative 3, 0, and 3. Now the last thing we have to do is determine, if you look at this graph, this is your line y equals 0. So above this is y is greater than 0, and below this is y is less than 0. So what we want to know is where is f of x positive. So just look, it's right here. It's above the graph of the y equals 0 here, and also this piece. So this first piece is negative infinity to 3. And this, negative 3. And this piece is from 0 to 3. Now, where is our f of x? Negative. Well, it's negative right in this piece here and this piece here. So that's going to be from negative 3 to 0 and 3 to infinity. And those are your intervals. That's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.